All right, let's just be honest. As men, one of the biggest struggles that a man deals with is finding the one. So we're going to talk about, should biblical men be on dating apps? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Patros podcast, where we are going after biblical masculinity, and we're here to help you guys on that journey. So if you're watching this, you're very likely wanting to be a biblical man. And so today we're going to talk about, should biblical men be on dating apps? My name is Alan. This is Jeff Ford. What do you think, Jeff?
So, highly unqualified.
Were dating apps even... Did they exist?
Heck no.
Did they? There was websites though.
There were websites.
When did you and Liza meet?
We met in college, so late 90s, like
Okay.
97, I
So
think.
websites were still...
Yeah, I mean, there were websites, but dating apps, there was...
That was all still sketchy at the time too, right?
I mean...
people were still probably like, that's weird.
I don't remember anybody being on a dating app. Now, I would like to say, should biblical men be on dating apps? I mean, hot take, and we're going to jump into it. Hot take, I don't think it's wrong.
I don't think that's a hot take.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm saying, without thinking about it too much, my knee-jerk reaction is, I don't think it's wrong. But I do think it can be wrong, just like just about anything else.
Yeah,
It's all about your intention, how you use it. Is it a God? Does it supplant Christ in your life? And at the end of the day, only you can answer that, right?
Yeah.
Like, why did I download this thing? So what do you think? Is it?
So when I was in college, dating apps were just coming out, and there was plenty of them. And I remember I downloaded one, and within that day, I deleted it because I saw my heart. So I literally started scrolling. And
So you can speak from personal experience.
Yeah. But I've never used it and actually met with somebody. That never happened.
Yeah.
Because this one was obviously you swipe or whatever, and I noticed that I was obviously wanting to see, are they Christians or not? But then I was like, are they beautiful or not beautiful? And I was just like, the fact that that's going on, to me, just felt weird. And I was just like, I can't do this. This just isn't right to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I got to tell you, dating, I don't think dating apps would work for me because I am way too vain.
Yes. My ego was just, I had to get rid of it.
And
day.
then and I mean, for being honest, all the girls that were ever interested in me, it wasn't because I was,
the 6'3",
yeah, dark hair, dark eyes,
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. I used to coach with a guy, and he would have a different girl, seemed like every week. I don't think it was like that, but every month a new girl was showing up at practice or at the game or whatever. And it was funny because the boys were like, coach, how you get all these beautiful women? What's your secret, coach? And this particular individual was a good coach. I'm going to use the word portly, right? He wasn't in great shape. He wasn't not in shape, but he's a little portly and a little round. Wore glasses and,
he wasn't your first guess.
It was not a distinguishable characteristic that you look at this person and go, man, that's a
that
handsome
makes sense.
dude.
Yeah. You were like, oh, this makes sense. Yeah.
You would look at it and go,
What's your trick?
Yeah. What are you doing? And he would always be like, fellas, I'm trying to tell you, it is personality. He's like, just crack a joke, be funny, be witty, be interesting. That's what they want. They don't want...
Yeah.
They don't care about your bank account. They do, but
some do, some don't.
But they don't. But they don't have to know that in the beginning. You know.
Yeah.
But his point was, which I think is true. And I've said this. You have to be sexually attracted to somebody, I believe, to marry them. But I believe that our culture has has made that the highest order.
They made a caricature out of it.
Yeah, like you have to. If you're not that, then there's nothing, and that's why people have sex before marriage. And I got to see if we're compatible, right? Like we got to do all that.
And you're like, how compatible are you like on taxes and life decisions and parenting?
Yeah, like the things that actually matter. But I mean, we know it's just a trick of the enemy. It's the flesh and all that. But I think that we underestimate the value of a godly woman. And a godly man. Like godliness is such when you want to pursue godliness, godliness is such an attract. So it's a revealer of your heart to your point. So we're talking about, should men be on a dating app?
Like, what is our heart?
I mean, maybe like, like, what are you looking for? Can you like turn off the pictures on those apps?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Like that would be interesting.
I doubt it because this is
they have shows like that, like where they just let me hear your voice.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Love is
number
blind
one. Talk to me.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like at the end of the day, like, because catfishing is a thing, right? It's like, oh, you fooled me on what I thought you were. Yeah. Like people do want to be able to say like, this is who I see, this is what I like, and my take on it is, I mean, Jake and I were talking about it before the podcast, like. And he said something really good about what's the purpose? Like, why are you on it? Is it for vanity? Are you just doing hookup culture? Are you looking for somebody to do life with? And I think that isn't isolated to dating apps. It's just dating apps are like a buffet of people. I don't want to say desperate enough, but people with enough desire to date that they've downloaded an app and put their face out there.
Now, is that a wrong desire?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think depends where. I think it's a scale.
Yeah.
And some people are on that scale at desperation, and some people are at that scale like, I'm okay. I'm just here to see what's going on.
Yeah. It's pain points again, right? Like how deep is your pain?
Yeah.
And are you willing or unwilling? Back to that kind of conversation.
And if you're at desperation, you start making bad decisions.
That's exactly right. I can just see it going down. And I'm glad it wasn't around when I was growing up. I got no problem with it in a lot of regards, but I think the point is that what does God have for us, right? And so if you think about dating in general, they used to be arranged marriages. I mean, that's how you kind of did it. And even then, if you look at like the English, how they would do it in the 1800s and 1900s and stuff. I mean, you would call on a gal, and you basically called on her once or twice, and then you were proposing.
What was call on her?
Like you would call on her, like she'd be at the house, and you would go over to the house, maybe with your friends. And you're like, hey, I'm calling on Mary, and so and they would see them walking up the road, so they would know. So they would like get all ready, like, oh, so and so is calling on me.
No way.
And then they would come into the room and sit down, and they would chat and have a formal conversation.
It was a lot higher risk.
Yeah, and it was, but like the women wanted to be married so badly in that culture, like, and they wanted to be married by, obviously, if someone had money and had a good job and things of that nature. That's how they would do it. So this is more the high society how they would do it, but it was. In a lot of ways, it was arranged, because it was like, hey, you're going to meet so and so, or I'm going to go have you call on so and so, and then they made a way to make it work. Dating now, and I'm not sure. I mean, you're closer to it. What do your friends say about dating? Like your single guy friends, what are they struggling with? So if we say biblical dating is the intentional pursuit under God, like you're not just like passive about it, but you're not overzealous about it either. Like there's that middle ground of like, no, like I want to be married. I desire to be married. That's a good thing. That's why God created man and woman to be together. So that is a good desire to have, but you can, like, I think there are a lot of excuses out there for maybe unhealthy behavior. I don't know. Like, what are you seeing?
So what they say and what I see are two different things. So what a lot of people, and this is really what I've seen in like culture and being impacted by like social media, right, is you see online there's red pill type of thing where it's like women are the problem and society is the problem. And I think that there are some things that they've identified that are issues, but they become the only issue. And it's not men also having to take accountability. So that being like women wanting to clout chase, or women wanting to be with men only if they're 6 foot, or if they're rich or ripped or whatever. Like, yes, there are women like that, but that's not all women. And so men start to filter all women through those women. Instead of treat, you know what I'm saying? So like,
you have a few influencers, and then there's millions of women, and you're
or you've had 6 encounters with 6 women that just weren't the ones that you should have been with, and then all of a sudden all women have to, are that problem, versus like assessing the situation and just saying maybe that just wasn't it. So I think that that's what I've seen mostly is like guys filtering women through, and that's what I hear is guys talking about like, well, all girls just want a 6'5" guy or something, or a 6 foot guy or whatever. And like, or you have to make 6 figures to make them happy. And I'm just like, guys, that's not healthy. That's not a healthy way to think. Now there's only two guys that I could name that I know who have options, can date, and have decided to say, I'm not going to date right now because I got some things I want to work through and be prepared for the time, so that when the opportunities do come, I can assess them correctly, versus like it's all about, she's pretty and then Jesus goes out the window. And then also like being able to say, I don't need a woman, I want a woman. Like I need Jesus. A woman is a great gift.
An accessory.
No.
Oh.
She's an accessory. That's what some coaches believe.
I'm just kidding.
No, but that reality is that, and I'm sure that's not too different with your generation either. It's just the pain points are like now you're one guy fighting against hundreds of guys because access of social media and dating apps. The options are
so like the struggles for men, because there are more men and ladies out there that are single these days than before. And I know I have single friends and some of them by choice. And I think it's important to state on the front end that if God has said, hey, stay single, it's a great thing, because you can do more for the kingdom. Like as soon as you get married or you get a relationship,
if you're actually doing more for the kingdom.
Well, correct. If you're actually doing more for the kingdom. But to have a wife and the kids, your interests are divided, right? So if you are single, it's great because you can pursue the Lord. But to your point, how many are actually doing that? But it's just the idea of, if you pursue Jesus, if you pursue biblical masculinity, healthy masculinity, man, I just feel like women are going to be lining up, like from
godly
the
women with the right
that's what
virtue.
I'm talking about. The women that I have heard from that are single, a lot of them are like, I can't find a good guy. And so then I'm like, dudes, if you're out there and you're like, what's the problem here? And I think
their standards are too high. They're blah, blah, blah.
But like, I don't know. Like there has been some women that I have known just throughout the years who, they're not like, not like the most attractive people, right? Or that I'm attracted to or whatever. But their insides are so beautiful that you go, man, that's a marriable woman, right? Like that's a godly woman who, like, she just has a sweet spirit about her. And so that is attractive in and of itself. And I just think if men would exude like confidence in Jesus, like I think you mentioned before the podcast, like guys that like, oh, I'm not confident. And like, you're like, well, you got to work on that, And part of working on confidence is understanding your identity in Christ. When you understand your identity in Christ, you're like, oh man, Christ has got me. And like, whether or not you like me or not, I don't care.
That's sexy, my guy. That's sexy.
Because
a
Jesus
woman's gonna look
me.
At that,
right. If
she's gonna look at that and be like, I want to follow that.
Like, wait a second, he's not like desperate for me, and he's not. What is? That's different.
That's
different.
Yeah.
So like, and then there comes the idea of the sovereignty of God. If you pursue God, and He wants you to be married, the best thing you can do is continue to pursue God. Because He will bring you that right person in due time.
Yeah.
And then when you're in his will, it's like, I don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah. I definitely think that, and I don't even know if this is in our flow, which is okay, but porn has wrecked like what you said about sexual attraction is what I think porn has done for men is their sexual attraction becomes very much built around sex that is outside of marriage with women who are fabricated or even like just scenarios and situations. So like now they're looking for the girl that they search up. Yeah. You're not going to find her in the church.
She does not exist.
She does not exist. And number one, she's one girl out of how many others, but your standards and like your lens is completely fogged. Yeah. And the value of a woman with sex is like, there's a reason that sex comes after marriage. Right. So like, is she the wife that you're looking for, the mother to your children that you're looking for? And then sex is a add-on to that. Yeah. It's not the main goal.
And so this is a great point. And I think, I don't know, you're closer to it than I am, but when I was in college, again, this is late 90s, they would joke, I went to Wheaton College, they would joke about getting your MRS degree. And I think I still think that
Christian
is
colleges,
true today in college, in Christian circles.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the idea of, man, if you don't find your husband there,
you're screwed.
Where are you going to find him? And in some regards, I think that was the same. If you don't find your wife there, and then I think about me in particular, right? So when I'm looking at single men are stuck, like, and there's a pressure to rush towards marriage, that's where I fell into it. So I can speak from what not to do. I can speak from that angle. Yeah. I very much, in fact, I took a job. My whole life's like direction was to wear a suit and tie, downtown Chicago in a sales environment, just so that I could get a wedding ring. Like I just needed money to save for a ring so I could get married. And when I think about it, that's just so dumb. Yeah. You've placed your value and your vision and your future on an idea, not really on a person. Yeah. Does that make sense? It was the idea that I should be married. That's the next step, right? I graduate from high school. What do you do next? You go to college. Yeah. Graduate from college. What do you do next? You get married. Yeah. That was so ingrained in my thought patterns. And and I think there were good people along the way who said, hey, but whatever, but it did not take, it did not register. And I do think to your point about just the sexuality piece, man, I wanted to have sex. So it's like, I knew.
And then that verse, if you burn with the passion.
You could justify
so churches love rushing couples into marriages.
Like, hey, you don't want to burn, You
don't want to burn, so just go ahead.
And why? Then you're going to.
And then like 6 years later, they're like, hey, we're struggling. And you're like, yeah, we probably should have helped you guys work some stuff out first.
You didn't want me to burn. Now alone, I want to burn this relationship down. But like that was very much us. So like my wife and I are very clear about it. We're on the same page. Like we would, if people ask advice now to us, we tell them to wait. Now my wife is like, just wait longer. She's a little jaded. But I do think there's value in waiting because it's a big decision.
It's a good practice.
Now, it's not to say that you can't, I also believe this. I don't there are people that date for 2 and 3 years. I'm like, bro, poop or get off the pot. Like, pretty quickly. Yeah. Because this is not about even compatibility. It's not about attractiveness. It is the pursuit of God in each other, and recognizing that, and then pursuing the Savior. And if that's in line, bro, it can take 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. Now I'm not saying to do that. I'm just saying the most important thing is the pursuit of Jesus. It's not the other things that we tend to put value on.
Yeah. I think with dating, especially for men and for women, it's what environments have I seen you faithfully obey Jesus in, and how do I see you react when you don't? Yeah. And what do you do with that, And so I think that's when it comes to, I know the original question is should men be on dating apps, is you can't see that, but you at least can see, am I interested in pursuing that with this person? And so if your goal is, let me find a wife and not a girlfriend, then you're going to go on a couple of dates and figure that out. As you do that, you should be seeing them within their community, seeing them how they navigate your community. And I think that's the hard part for dating is people are trying to figure out, where are you deceiving me? Like, because I mean, what 50% of marriages end up in divorce, which means either there was deception or lack of commitment.
And it kind of always is deception in the beginning.
Yeah, because you're your best version.
Like, I'm putting my best foot forward.
Bro, I've had conversations with guys that are dating, and they're like, "This girl's doing this. This girl's doing this. Like, this is how she's treating me, and I'm trying my best." I was like, "Bro, she's her best version right now."
Yeah.
And if y'all are fighting, and it's been a month,
yeah,
and you're being ghosted or whatever the situations are, it's all different situations. And I say the same thing to girls, right? It's like, if this is what dating looks like, I promise you, marriage, where they got you, you're screwed. But that's not to say things aren't redeemable. Is the person willing to work through those things?
Yeah.
And so that's like what you were saying about dating. The goal is, and it's not, what is it, validation. It's not like, hey, are we good? Are we compatible? Are we perfect? But it's like, do I see that your relationship with Jesus is the overarching theme in your life? Because me and Alexis, like, I know that there's guys out there that look better than me and make a lot more money than I do. Mm-hmm. But, and we've talked about it, like, my commitment to her and her commitment to me is our commitment to Jesus.
Yeah.
Because that will be the thing that is the foundation for us to be solid. And I knew that when we were friends. I saw how she moved as a friend.
Yeah. Well, you guys did that better than we did, for sure.
What do you mean?
Just, I think how you guys moved as friends.
But there was no intent, like, we weren't even attracted to each other.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like there was not that in the way. And unfortunately, and I can speak to how to do this wrong, incorrectly, wrongly. My wife, or my mom would not like it if I was not using an adverb there.
Yeah.
Reframing the goal of dating, like for me, dating, it was oftentimes very like superficial, very superficial. Dating does not equate to marriage, but it also doesn't equate to casual entertainment. And I think I probably looked at that as casual entertainment. And it wasn't that I was being malicious about it, or had ill will. And I certainly wasn't trying to manipulate, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I was self-absorbed in it. Like, I was far more interested in what I could get out of it than what this other person could get out of it. It's interesting too, because I would typically always break up with a girl for somebody else. Like, and it just goes to show that you're not, like, my intentions were never good. They're just never good. I don't know how else to say it. And again, I wasn't malicious about it, but it was a certain brand of evil.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it was just not it certainly wasn't God honoring. And, they talk about that triangle kind of thing where man and wife, the closer you grow to God, the closer you grow to each other. Right. So if you pursue God, and she's pursuing God, you will naturally get closer to one another. And I can't say that really in any of my relationships that happened on any regularity. It was, if it was there, it was forced, it was superficial. One of the issues, that I think you mentioned earlier about guys not knowing if they're doing it right. I do think that is part of it. I mean, I didn't know if I was leading right, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, guys haven't been discipled yet. Like, I mean, we talked about it, 2 weeks ago, about emotion. Yeah. And how, like, hey, do you even know yourself? Like, do you know how your brokenness has interacted with how you would treat a woman? Yeah. How you grew up? Like, we haven't even remember we said something about, like, what emotion do men need to sit with? Like, have you taken a year at least to just sit with some of your brokenness, your emotions, and how Jesus needs to heal those things?
Yeah, it's a identity crisis. Is what it is. So my guess is that if you're out there and you're struggling with this issue, and some of you may not be, some of you are in a healthy place, and it's like, no,
Praise
like
God.
I'm waiting. But
and 9 times out of 10,
a lot of times it's not.
There's a lot of unhealth that hasn't been unpacked. At least from what I've seen. That's all anecdotal. Yeah. That's not data, but.
Yeah. But I will tell you this. If you're a dude out there and you're looking for a woman, like the Proverbs talks about, like it is a noble thing to find a godly wife.
Yeah.
You know, and if that really does matter to you, like you have to stop looking at porn. It will distort everything that God has created a woman to be.
Yeah.
And no one will ever live up to that standard, by the way. I don't
Yeah.
care how freaky you think she is. She is not going to be that way.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not going to happen because it's all fake.
Yeah.
And like, one of the best things that that was good for me is I saw like a behind the scenes, like in the pornography industry, and bro, it almost made me throw up, like because the way that those women are treated, and what they would talk about, and it was graphic, but it was, you know, them explaining this is what they made us do, and we would go throw up after like it was sickening, and to think, man, and yet I'm allowing my lack of self-control to like fuel this industry that is destroying everything.
Yeah.
It's destroying everything.
Yeah.
So to be in a healthy spot for dating, you have to get rid of that stuff. And what will happen is these other girls that maybe your standard wasn't there, they will become more attractive to you.
Yeah.
But in a healthy way, not in a lowering standard, actually in a raising standard.
Yeah.
Like you went from your standard was way down here about a girl who would, you know, essentially give herself up to anybody. That cheapens the relationship.
Yeah.
What makes it more expensive and more valuable is someone who is like holding that and keeps it as precious and wants to give it to somebody that is unique in the world.
No, I think that involving people that you respect, that are godly, that are in a place that you one day aspire to be in, involve them in that process. Even if you're single, like involve them in the process of knowing you so that they know, hey, I think that this is really good for you.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we don't, and especially men, we don't like to listen to other people's advice. Yeah. And I was talking to my wife the other day, and you know this.
That's a good word, by the way.
What Luke says. Yeah. Like, if somebody mentoring me says, Alan, do this, I just do it. Like, I don't always do it, but I do my best to just say, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so I remember one time me and Alexis were fighting, we were dating, and Luke just looked at me and was like, you're being an idiot. She's an amazing girl. Don't ruin this. And then I was like, noted, and I'm just going to listen. Yeah. Because right now I'm emotional. I think I'm right, that she's wrong, and we're fighting a little bit. And so I have a brother that I've allowed into my life. Him and his wife have seen us argue in front of them, discuss in front of them, and they have now identified, Alan, you're being an idiot right now. Yeah. And so I just listen. Yeah. Invite people into the process.
I think that's a really good point. And I also think if you're married out there, you should be looking for people to invite into the like model what it looks like. Yeah. But because we're so self-consumed with our own stuff, we're not looking, we're not thinking about it. So I just think that could be a big thing for men to do. I think also just kind of as we wrap too, the initiation, there is an initiation process that does have to happen. So be careful to not be too passive. Passivity, passivity is weakness. It just is. Yeah. You need to take some swings, and you know what? You may miss some balls, right? Like you may strike out a couple times. Yeah. Life is striking out. You know how many times you're going to strike out in life?
It's learning, right?
It's learning.
This is what we talked about. You said it at the meeting the other day for Man Up. You said, like, when you're doing sales, you just, along the way, you start to realize, oh, my pitch was off, or I was weird there. Why did I ask her about her scarf? Yeah. you know, like you learn, and sometimes it's just a repetition of the goal isn't to get her to marry you on the first high, but maybe just compliment somebody and just say, hey, I think you look great today, and then just go. There's no transaction. Yeah. Just you give something good and walk away and see how good it feels.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think just a couple, like on initiative, like a biblical man, he initiates. I just initiate. It doesn't mean that you have to be weird about it, but it does mean that if you want something, and your intention, your heart is good, like ask, like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing tomorrow night? And I know nowadays everybody texts or DMs, right? Like that's the thing.
Snapchat.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say that that's not a way to do it, but listen, you're not gonna DM your wife the rest of your, like, you're gonna be living together.
Yeah.
You're gonna be sleeping in the same bed. You're gonna be face to face. If your phones are, or your noses are buried in your phones,
Yeah.
you got bigger problems.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna make it anyway.
Yeah.
So like, I would say initiate that like conversation, and be clear. I think the older
Clarity
you get
is
too,
the biggest thing.
yeah, be clear about your intentions.
Yeah.
Like, don't, there comes a point where like dating, you're not doing it just like, it's not sport. And that was my problem. You know, I should not have dated most of the girls I dated, not because they weren't cool or whatever, but because I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was not ready. I was not in a good space. So be clear with your intentions. If you tend to date somebody, like, hey, like one of our coworkers said that, like, you know, within the first week, the girl was like, hey, listen, are you interested in marriage? Like, I'm not saying we're going to get married, but
I just need to know.
I just need to know where we're at.
Yeah.
And I think the men should be able to do that too. Like, hey, listen, just so you know, like, you're really cool. I don't know that much about you, but I'm not interested in just like testing. Like, I'm looking for a wife. I'm looking to build, you know, a family, or, you know, like, be clear
I have
about
a friend
your
that
intentions.
literally he's on dating apps and stuff, and on the first date, he's just very clear, like, hey, do we have the same value? These are my primary values. If we don't share these, we can still have a great dinner and we can hang out. And he's literally had dates with girls where they didn't have the same values, and he was like, well, let's just hang out and have a good dinner because we're here. I don't want it to be awkward. I'm not going to walk away.
Yeah.
I'll still pay for dinner. We're still going to have fun as friends, but we're not going to go anywhere from here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, that's the healthiest way I've ever seen a guy deal with that.
We should have that guy on the podcast be doing this. So anyway, what would be one takeaway we could give for dudes to do this week? One action item if they're in this kind of area of their lives?
Oh, man. I would say that, well, for your guys that are struggling with confidence, is to build confidence. So I would say not to take the dating experience personally. Like, it doesn't mean anything that your identity is in jeopardy. Your identity is in Christ. So identify yourself in Christ and just grow in the areas that there's opportunities for growth.
Yeah.
That's not a great call to action, but I think it's because it's different for each guy.
It is different for each guy, but this is going to sound like Sunday school
Do
answer.
yours.
Pursue the Lord.
Yeah.
You have to pursue the Lord.
Trust him.
And trust.
Him.
There's a relinquishing of your agenda that has to take place. And I think that once that happens in your life and you don't care about, like, you just trust the process, leave the results to God. Lauren Smith says it all the time. Like, our job is to be faithful. That's it. It's not to save our kids or to get them out of their trauma. Our job is to be faithful. Same thing with dating. Like, you be faithful to God. He will reward you in due time, and you can know that you're in his will. Actual
nice guys do win, and don't throw tantrums when people aren't nice back.
Ooh. That felt like a personal, like from personal conviction.
No, that's a thing that I typically see is single guys that are like, well, nice guys, like, girls don't like nice guys. And I'm like, no, they just notice that you're not actually a nice guy, because the second that you didn't get what you wanted,
you're a brat.
You're a brat about and talking bad about it. Yeah.
That's good.
All right, big finish.
All right, what do we got?
5 minutes. We get to talk about whatever. How did you initially ask your wife to go out on a date?
Gosh.
This is where it doesn't, like, I'm not.
Oh, this is gonna be terrible advice. The only advice I can give you is
it's not advice; it's a conversation.
Okay. Don't do what Alan and Jeff did. I'm interested to hear yours. So my wife, she was in chapel. We had to go 3 times a week. Wheaton College, I had to go to chapel. So she was like one row in front of me, and she was with one of our offensive linemen. I was a running back, so Joe Malone. So we're buddies, right? And so I'd be like, hey, what's up with that girl? I know you're talking to her or whatever. He's like, oh, you know, she's from Connecticut. They were both from Connecticut together. And then my wife, funny enough, she was like a serial dater. And she says, yeah, it was a first date all the time so I could get dinner. I'm like, that is so manipulative.
That's wild.
That's so manipulative, you know? So I think
she was smart. She was working the business.
She was working the business side of things. But ultimately how we started hanging out was she was friends with some of my friends. So we would be in the same circles or whatnot, some of the same classes. And then she would come over to the house, like where I was. And then into my junior year, I hadn't left yet. She hadn't left yet. And she was coming over actually for another friend. I'm like, oh, he's not here, but it was just the two of us in the house. And I was like, well, you want to go get some pie? So we went and got some pie.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah. So
That's solid.
yeah. I mean,
Because that's the thing is sometimes maybe it's too much pressure. Like guys put so much like, would you like to go on a proper date with me?
Yeah.
And like, I get it.
Yeah.
But bro, like if you get rid of all the pressure, she gets to know who you actually are.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you make it such a big deal, then it's like the girl's like, oh no, thank you, because I don't know how this is gonna go.
Yeah,
if it's just like, let's just go hang out for a second.
Our first date was pie.
Yeah, that's a vibe.
Yeah.
Alexis and I, we had already known each other for like 6 years. So it wasn't awkward. It wasn't hard.
Yeah.
We just, we had already talked about like, hey, things might change in our relationship here. I don't know. This is weird. And I even had to talk to her siblings and be like, hey, my relationship with your sister might change. And I know that's going to be weird. Talk to her mom. I was like, this is going to be weird. And everybody was like still cool about it. But, and then we ended up going, this is so me. I didn't have anything planned.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, should we go?
That's on
should we
brand.
go on a date? And then she was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, bet. We go in her car. Like I drive her car and we go around like St. Pete Beach and we're just looking for, I'm just like, where should we eat? I don't even know where we should eat. And then we drove for like 30 minutes looking for a spot.
She knew what she was getting into.
The thing is, I was already like this, so I wasn't going to act different.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, she already knew.
I wasn't going to be like, oh, let me act completely different now than I've always acted. So then we found a pizza spot, and then I legit was like, so, where are you from? And she was just like, okay, we don't have to do this part. And so we just like did what we always do, just talked about stuff that was already going on.
Yeah.
So that's a nice part.
So an unplanned,
Completely, it was so bad. Bro.
Yeah.
I have gotten better about dating my wife now.
And I would say that it's important to date your wife. We have had like ebbed and flowed with this.
Yeah.
It's been better recently. Putting something on the calendar for once a month. We missed, the coming off the holidays is difficult because everything gets jacked with your schedule. But I think that January is a great time. January, February is a great time. To be able to reset that with your spouse. And then if you're not married, like it's just a great time.
Yeah.
New you, try new things. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, but to your point, it does not have to be, and if this is the case, it does not have to be a
Go
big
play
deal.
Pickleball.
Yes.
And get ice cream.
Find something that you both like to do.
Or something that she's never done and you're like, hey, I need to show you this. You'd love it.
Oh yeah.
Like get to know them enough to like where you can say, oh no, we got to definitely try this. And do an activity.
Yeah, activity is the way to go.
And then you can see how coordinated is she, because I don't know if I want my kids
you want
to be
athletic kids, you need to find that out right away.
But yeah, that's what. Yeah, ours was very much just that. I already knew who she was.
Yeah,
she already knew.
That's good.
So if you're a guy, just be a guy.
Yes,
Just go have fun.
Yeah.
Be yourself. And if you're weird and awkward, be
weird.
weird and awkward.
Because that's not going to change.
And then you'll get to marry a girl that likes weird and awkward, which there's plenty of them out there.
Instead of like tricking somebody into, I'm not weird and awkward, and they think you're not, and then you are.
And then you don't get to be yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. God bless you guys. We'll see you on the next podcast.